Falcon Punch!
Hello guys, welcome to another episode of RWingAttack. This is Patrick, like always. Today we'll be talking about another game, another E3 speculation video. And this time it's all going to be about F-Zero. And for those of you who don't know, this is Captain Falcon's franchise. So he's not just in Super Smash Bros. Of course, Captain Falcon almost becoming kind of like a cult favorite now. You know, there are a lot of people who just think Captain Falcon is a Super Smash Bros. Character. And I actually had to think about that because, you know, we haven't really got an F-Zero game since the GameCube. So there are a lot of new generation Nintendo players who don't even know, you know, F-Zero had some games. You know, of course, he had that mini game in Nintendo Land. You know, there's little nods to him in Mario Kart 8 with the beautiful, that beautiful track. So, yeah, so F-Zero really talked about a lot around this time. There's always rumors around E3 about, you know, will there be an F-Zero game? I feel like this is a franchise that has definitely been ignored for far too long. Nintendo seems to just forget about certain franchises. You know, lately it's been Metroid, where Metroid has been kind of on this weird path recently. You know, being on the 3DS, a game that I didn't care for. I know some others like that game, but F-Zero has kind of gotten even less treatment because we really have not seen a new F-Zero game at all. I mean, the last game I could think of is F-Zero GX for the Nintendo GameCube, which is a fantastic game. I feel like whenever people, you know, take nostalgia trips or, you know, they want to play some classic consoles, they go right for the N64 or they go for the SNES. And a lot of people miss the GameCube. And I don't know. The GameCube has some of the best games in, you know, each of these franchises, you know, respective franchises. F-Zero GX being, of course, my favorite F-Zero game. You know, Mario Party. I feel my favorite Mario Party is Mario Party 4. And that's on the GameCube. You also have, of course, Metroid Prime, which I feel is the best Metroid in the series. Star Fox Assault. Probably my favorite Star Fox. Star Fox Assault and Star Fox 64 probably tied for me. Of course, you have Luigi's Mansion, Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door. So there are a lot of great franchises. So if you guys really are going to play the golden years of Nintendo, you might want to start with the GameCube because it really does have a lot of great games for it. But going back to F-Zero, this is a franchise that a lot of people have been wanting. You know, they want this franchise back. They want to see, you know, Captain Falcon in his own game. Especially with all of the success of Super Smash Brothers, you know, and he's such an iconic character for someone who hasn't had a game in over 10 years. But today I wanted to start off the discussion of, you know, is this even possible? Like, is F-Zero, like, does F-Zero even make sense to put out anymore? You know, of course, you have Mario Kart just coming out, which obviously is a racing game. You have Fast RMX, which released, and Fast Racing Neo on the Wii U. And those are both futuristic racers. So, and they're actually very good racers. They, you know, they have different mechanics than F-Zero, where you have to change the color of your vehicle to match the track color. And that gives you a little boost. So it is different from F-Zero, but it is a very clean game. Very underrated game, I feel. And that game was actually a launch game for the Nintendo Switch. So if you have not played that game and you are missing F-Zero, you should probably play that game. But going back a little bit, F-Zero, if Nintendo made an F-Zero announcement at E3, I think a lot of people would be excited, but after the fact, it really would not make that much sense. If they're going to release an F-Zero game, they have to do it right, and they have to do it at the right time. And 2017 is not the right time, and even 2018 is probably not even the right time. If F-Zero was released, it would kind of almost get lost unless it was done perfect. But Fast Racing RMX is actually a really good game, and the Fast Racing franchise that has been started is actually a solid franchise. So does Nintendo buy the Fast Racing franchise and kind of just release an F-Zero game? And I was kind of thinking about that, and it took me back a little bit to when Star Fox Adventures was released. This of course not being that extreme, but Star Fox Adventures was supposed to be Dinosaur Planet. And Nintendo just kind of took this franchise, or took this new game idea, and kind of just slapped a Star Fox, logo and inserted their characters into this world. And if you guys play Star Fox Adventures, it is a really odd game to play. I must admit, and I'm one of the biggest Star Fox fans out there, it just feels like a really weird game to me. And I'm not saying that F-Zero, if they did buy the Fast Racing franchise, if they put F-Zero in there, it wouldn't be a weird game. Even the announcer from F-Zero is in Fast Racing RMX. So it wouldn't be weird to do it. It would just be kind of, it'd be kind of like a lateral move. Like, why do it? This game is good on its own. I don't think it really needs Captain Falcon to kind of make it better. So with that being said, we're kind of left at a standstill because, Nintendo has this great franchise. It has this iconic character in Captain Falcon. So what do we do? What do we put out? And unfortunately, the conclusion that I have come up with is it's an unfortunate one, because what do you do with him? You can't really release another futuristic racer because, the Switch library is already struggling a little bit because essentially you have two major games, and we all know what they are. And then after that, this year we're, ARMS, Splatoon 2, we have some RPGs coming out in the mix, and then, the big game being Mario Odyssey. It's not really a place for another racing game. There are so many genres that you have to focus on to build your catalog up. It just wouldn't make sense. It would essentially be like if Nintendo made another kart racer. Like, there's no space in the market for it right now, which is unfortunate because Captain Falcon is a very lovable character. He's a very great character. So it's kind of frustrating the way that Nintendo has handled F-Zero, because F-Zero is a very good game. It has interesting mechanics that, at the time had never been done before. Now, of course, with Fast RMX, it seems like it's done before. And, like I said earlier, if Fast Racing, if that franchise was a disaster, there would be a call to action to bring this guy back. But there's just no need for Captain Falcon right now. There's no need for the F-Zero franchise to come back. And it kind of leaves me thinking, like, I hope Nintendo doesn't do this with other franchises. It took an indie developer to kind of stand up and put a futuristic racer back on Nintendo platforms because Nintendo wouldn't do it themselves. And it's just frustrating because there are a lot of games that Nintendo has put out that, certainly we all scratch our heads and, why would you put that out? I mean, Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, I don't even want to talk about that game. It's gotten enough flack already from people. And then you put out, a claymation Kirby game, which a lot of people do like, but it's just like, I feel like Nintendo is experimenting way too much when all they have to do is look back, and they already have franchises that have not been touched and have not been done in years that are just sitting there. And unfortunately at this time, I don't think F-Zero will be announced, not even next year either. But guys, let me know what you think about this topic. Do you guys think an F-Zero game could fit into Nintendo's catalog right now? I'm going to say no. I really don't think it does. I don't think it makes sense. Maybe in the future we could see an F-Zero game, but right now, unfortunately, I don't think that it will happen. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This will be, this of course being another E3 speculation video. I love doing these. I love revisiting old franchises that could possibly make a return. Unfortunately for F-Zero, I don't really see it, but I will be doing many more of these. I got some new style videos coming up. We have a top 5 video that will be dropped later this week. So, yeah, it'll be my first top 5 video. I'll be doing probably some of those too. And yeah. So, guys, thank you very much. Thank you for watching. This is Patrick with RWingAttack.